morning. Welcome to the Clueless Luthier. I'm Mark. Today, we're going to start fitting, not attaching, but fitting the neck to the body. You get to see it start to look like a guitar. But there are some adjustments we have to do to make sure the neck is aligned properly. So let me adjust the camera and I'll show you the first step. Okay, what we're going to do, in order to make the fitting a little bit easier, we're going to take, I don't think this line probably shows up real well. I should have done it in white maybe. But there's a line kind of along the perimeter. Okay, the other one's not that squiggly, but it goes all the way around the perimeter. I want to leave the outside, but I want to take off the inside a little bit to make it easier once we start trying to fit it. So what I'm going to do, start here. All right, before I go any further, I need to cut the excess off of the fretboard. And I've measured it so it'll just cover about to there. So I'm going to pat this board down as a guide. Okay, I decided it's going to be easier to explain what I did rather than try to explain it as I did it. What I needed to do was set this bridge in its eventual location. And the instructions left out like one important detail as far as getting this all centered and squared. I figured that out. So what I did is I measured using this square from the top of the neck to the 12th fret. Okay, I did it on the other side. Where's my mark? Yeah, I did it on this side. And then I added an 1/8 inch for the width of the bridge. So this second mark that you probably can't see is the one I'm going to use. I then, making sure that this is nice, pushed in well, I marked, first of all, I did draw a center line very lightly here, so I knew where I was measuring. Plus I had to center this. I measured from my 12th fret up to see, to make this mark, center the bridge, the second one. And then in order to help me set it, all I did is I went back and said, okay, well, that's a 1/4 inch from the front there. So I measured so I can make a little white mark with my white pencil here. Then I removed this, got out of the way, because I had my center line here, center mark here. I used that to go like this, and make sure that this was square. Okay? All right. So now what we have to do is try to see if I push this nice and snug, line this up, and see where it falls. Now that's interesting. Here it goes almost right straight through the E when I do that on this side. I expected it out more. Let's see what this side does. Okay, so this neck needs to move over because what it needs to do is this, so that it's equal distance. So I have to take those two measurements, and then what I'm going to do, since it has to go like this, I'm going to remove some of the wood on this side, because that will let it then tilt in that direction. So I'm going to take those measurements now. I have a correction. I obviously didn't have this set. This is wobbly, a little wobbly because on the back, because it's not adjusted to the body of the guitar yet. I'm using a straight edge. It's easier to handle. And when I did that, and I just was very careful, this came to like right at the edge of this hole instead of in the middle. This side comes right to the edge of the hole, so I get to skip a part. Now I can just move on to setting the angle. So this may not be long enough for this job, I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, it's riding high, but then I'm not sure I'm pushed all the way down either. Let's try this. See, now I know. Yeah, see, I gotta be careful about that. I gotta make sure that I'm getting a true reading, which is kind of hard. Yeah, it's just hitting that, and what you want to do is have it graze it. And so that means the neck's got to come back ever so slightly. And I'll be doing that by taking a little bit of material off the bottom, but very little. In fact, I think I'm going to use a file. I don't even dare, try to use a chisel for that little amount. So that's what I'll do next. All right, I'm glad I was taking that slowly because I just realized I was making an error. And this is the error. The headstock is hitting at this end and cranking it out of shape. When I held it up, it changed position. So what I did, elevated that slightly so that I got a better fit. It still wobbles a little bit because of the body, which is making this a little harder, but that's the last thing you do is adjust for that. And I take this across. I'm actually high. I mean, it's actually high. I would have been going in the wrong direction, or I did a little bit. So I really have to do, first of all, make sure I'm getting this right, is I have to remove it off this part, not that part. So I have to make some adjustments. Okay, kind of a little hard to hold in this direction to show, but hey, that was a lot of work. Man, work up a sweat. But now it just grazes it. It's where I want to be. I was afraid of losing this, but that's still right on the money. So the next step is to mold it to the body a little bit. And I'm going to readjust here and I'll show you how I do that. All right, I'm going to start with 80 grit sandpaper because it looks like I got a bit to do. So you just put it under here and pull it out. I don't know, feels a little awkward to me, but you do the same number of times on each side so you don't lose all your other settings. I might use a little lower grit actually. It's grabbing pretty hard. I don't know. Yeah. All right, we're all set. I've fitted to the body pretty well. I double checked all my measurements. It's right lining up with the bridge, like right here. perfectly. Maybe just touching there. I got it. Then check this, and yeah, it's right on there. So the next step is to go through and finish sand the entire guitar and finish it. So thanks for stopping by, and I hope you come back to watch that rest of the process. Thanks. Bye.